Hello, I'm Karen Radley. I'm the founder of Scoop, and I'm here today with Leslie to talk about how Scoop exhibitors can exhibit at Scoop and how they can bring their goods into the UK market. Leslie, would you like to tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name's Leslie Batchelor. I've worked in international trade for over 40 years now. And what I recognised, having worked for the large blue chip companies, that the people that really need to understand more and understand the help are the smaller businesses. Yeah. So I set up helping them. I worked on various government projects to do that. I became Director General of the Institute of Export, and we tried to promote qualifications and understanding of international trade. But then I realised that really what they need is an angel. So we started up Export Angels to actually swoop down and help businesses.
And what does the guide cover?
So we've written a guide for Scoop to help them understand, businesses understand how to exhibit and how to get their collections across into the UK. It's not easy, I'm afraid, but what we've done is create a 5-step guide. And the first step is obviously getting the goods to the exhibition in the first place.
Yes.
The second point is all about how to price it internationally to make sure they're going to make a profit when they're doing it. The third one is all about getting paid. The fourth one, documentation and delivery. And the fifth part is all about what to do to develop the market further. So, five main steps.
Yes, so you carry on not only exhibiting at Scoop, but also how you can deliver goods to the UK market. That's very interesting. And what are the vital steps they should adhere to?
Well, we always have 3 things that you need to know if you're going to trade internationally. Importing or exporting, you need to have your harmonised code, which is a 6-digit number that will support you. You need to know the country of origin of your goods, and that's not just where you buy it, that's literally where it's been made and the different elements of your products where they've been made. And the third one is all about the value that you put on those goods.
Why is it so difficult to trade with the UK at present?
Well, since leaving the EU, we've had to bring in a lot of new legislation. Mm-hmm. We were treating the EU as a home market, and it was nice and straightforward. And that, since we left the EU in 2021, the first thing that happened was we had 3 new computer systems. So everything is a little bit of a learning curve for us all. We've had various changes with VAT. It's become very complicated, but there's a way through, and I promise you the Export Angels team will be able to help everybody sort that out.
And do they have to consider insurance? So when they bring goods in or when they bring samples in, do they have to look at insurance?
There are 2 elements of the insurance that they need to think about. One is obviously the physical movement of goods, in transit, whatever form of air freight or sea freight, whatever it is you've decided to use to get your goods to the exhibition. But we've also got to consider the fact that they may have to put an insurance policy in place to cover the duty or any extra costs that you have as far as the HMRC are concerned.
And are there preferential countries? I mean, do we have preferential countries who can trade with the UK?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of different trade agreements. There are 64 different trade agreements in place with the UK. But there is something called General System of Preferences, which gives you 0% for certain markets. And there are 8 countries that do that, and it goes from Bolivia, Uzbekistan, Pakistan. And these are countries where we're trying to encourage them to engage with international trade, and they're 0%. Normally, on average, the third-party duty would be around about 8 to 12%. And that makes a lot of difference if you're trying to make a profit in a new market.
If a designer is choosing a carrier, do you advise on this? I mean, do you give us advice? Or should they choose a carrier where the VAT is included in the carriage?
Yeah, you make a very good point about VAT. I think it's crucial. But as far as carriers are concerned, obviously you want someone who understands your sector and will treat your collection the way you want them to be treated. Mm-hmm. If you've got somebody that you're using locally in your market already, I would suggest talking to them and see if they know someone that goes across to the UK. VAT is hugely problematic in that you need to understand that if you're delivering duty paid, which is the ideal way, so your customer doesn't get an invoice for extra VAT or sales tax when it comes in, then what you really need to do is make sure you have a fiscal representation in that country. And it may be that you're trading enough to set up a limited company here, or it may be that you just use a service that offers fiscal representation. But we can explain all that. It's not so difficult.
So would they need to be VAT registered to trade in the UK?
I mean, strictly speaking, yes, but there is this second part, which is the fiscal representation, where they will, somebody actually takes responsibility for your VAT and charges you for that service.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, thank you. And thank you for listening. And I hope this helps in trading with the UK.